Right, we should now be live. Hello everyone, I'm just going to double check everything's working fine. It does appear to be. I'm just going to give people an opportunity to pop in and also have a drink because it's bloody hot. Hello Kairu, Grubdog, King Giga. How's Floof? The Floof is overheating, King Giga. It's been about 30 degrees here in the UK, which is considered very warm for us. So, yeah. Overheating, but getting on with things. Hello, Alex. So, before I show off what homework I've done on the park, and we get going, I have something I just want to show folks quickly. Where is it? This, and this, and that. So, next week, this is arriving, hopefully, which is my new PC. In preparation for Jurassic World Evolution 3, but also so that I can play, you know, Prehistoric Kingdom and stuff with a bit more, reliability.
Consistency.
Consistency is probably a better word for it. Yeah, so my new PC is going to be arriving at some point next week. So there'll be a video of me unboxing it, as there was with Goliath, which is the PC I'm currently using. The thing is, that basically the PC I currently use was set up for Jurassic World Evolution 2. I brought it before Jurassic World Evolution 2 launched, and while it handled things perfectly well, the fact is my current rig would handle Jurassic World Evolution 3, but it would be compromised. So, you know, I wanted to improve considerably. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So what did I do while we were off for a week from this particular build? Basically, I've gone around and done a bit of homework on decorating. So I've put in some decorations down here. Put in some more trees around because I thought it was a bit bare. We've now got a nice little fountain area here down at the bottom of the hill. And I've completed all the decorative work around here. So we've now got seating put in, we've got fountains put in, and the restaurant on the top of the hill, which I've called Harvester after a very popular British branch of restaurants. And we've even got restaurant tables inside the viewing gallery, so that you can have dinner with a view. Although I have noticed that your view is slightly impacted by the trees, so I might have to do some shifting about of foliage at some point. Oh, and I made sure that the baryonyx area was completely finished, so they've now got their nice little habitat with some deep water for splashing about. And yeah, they should be a lot happier with that. What species are in the park so far? Well, Baryonyx, Alamosaurus, the Camp Cretaceous Kentros to be Dacentrurus. Over here we've got some Taurosaurus, we've got some Antarctosaurus, the fluffy sauropods, Struthies, and there should be some Tropiognathus flying around as well. Yes, there's one. We've got some Yamanosaurus, which is a little African sauropod. And then obviously we've got all the species in the little farm area here. So we've got the Procerosaurus, the Corythoraptor, the Lystrosaurus, the Sinosauropteryx, the Homalocephali, Hoangosaurus and the giant amphibian Anthracosaurus. So yeah, we're slowly but surely adding in animals. Performance has been a major concern for me regarding E3. I think my PC can run it. I just bought it not too long ago. Yeah, so when I had a look at my current rigs, we're just going to get going. I need to... Today's job is to basically build the next part of the road up this hill and to start working on this area here, so that's what we're going to get up to. But yeah, as I was saying, so I went and had a look at my current PC specifications in comparison to what the recommended currently is for Jurassic World Evolution 3, and basically I was broadly in the middle between minimum and recommended, basically. But I want to make sure that I can be fairly consistent, because the problem is with Steam's, like, you know, this is what we recommend you have. Okay, fine. But something that annoys me is that Steam never tells you, like, what that recommended spec actually means. Like, what do they mean by recommended? Is that, like, playing the game at 60 FPS at 1080? Is it, like, 30 FPS at 1080? Like, what? I wish they would actually explain what they actually meant properly. And because I feel that would be a lot easier and make it a lot easier for people to, like, sort of figure out where their hardware is for the game. I forgot how much of a drop there was in terrain here. Hello, Nicholas. My PS5 is going to melt. Yeah, I really hope that this time around they don't cause the sort of problems that we had last time. One of the biggest issues with Jurassic World Evolution 2's launch was that when they launched it, everyone on PlayStation and Xbox couldn't run it because they were all having problems. And then they released the day one patch, and everybody on PC saw their frame rates be cut in half, which really aggravated all of us on PC. So I'm hoping that this time around they, you know, do a better job when it comes to how well the game runs. You know, it needs to be optimized properly. I hope that the fact they're doing modular building means that they're kind of forced to make sure the game is optimized properly. Because obviously if it's badly optimized, then the modular building system wouldn't be very... But basically it would be dead on arrival if it's not well optimized. So I'm kind of half hoping that fact alone is going to improve the quality of the optimization. We're going to have to do some environmental work on these cliffs. Hello, Brenson and Luna. Okay. Now I just want to level out this bit. Just so I can see what I'm working with up here. Ah, Rob, I have a bone to pick with you. Since you're the person who made this map. The other day, I went to this waterfall, and I have deleted no less than about 80 to 90 placed rocks and pieces of vegetation. Because there was just too much in here. There were some rocks that were even buried inside other rocks and therefore were pointless. Rob Earth, when it comes to Jurassic World Evolution 3, you cannot be doing that stuff because you will compromise your performance. Efficiency, dear boy. That is the name of the game. Too much is never possible. Also, mister, what is this? I am going to have to fix this. That's appalling, Rob. that's really bad. I am going... Damn, shots fired. Hello, Evo. Man, don't show this. It's okay, Rob. I know you built it quickly for me for these streams. It's fine. I appreciate your map building. It's been a really interesting map. I love this map actually. But yes, you need to learn some efficiency when it comes to placing 80 million rocks. Can't be doing that when Jurassic World Evolution 3 comes around. You'll kill your frame rate. Needing to teach a German efficiency. That doesn't sound right. No, it is. It is very... It is very unusual, Eva. You're correct. Okay, so the aim is that we want this upper section of the river to basically kind of feel like it's part of this area down here as well. I tell you what, after putting those geothermal springs in, the Dreadnought, the Alamosaurus will not go anywhere else. It's like they just want to steam themselves. They just love being in the springs. The Barrys are like a gang of Barrys occupying that area. So something I want to do up here is kind of like over here we've got like the town, and we've got like dedicated viewing areas, and we've got the spa and the restaurant. I kind of want this to be almost very light touch when it comes to people seeing it. Because up here, this is all going to be a tour area, okay? So, in fact, I'm thinking of using a boat tour to go across. I might do some re-engineering of this river. But I'm thinking up here, I want it to be light touch. I still want people to be able to see into it, but I don't want it to be, like, packed. Hello, Colt. So I'm thinking what I'm going to do is we will have, like, a tour stop up here, but it's going to be... Oh, bugger. I do hate it when it does that. There'll be a tour stop up here, but it's going to be a relatively small one. And I'm also thinking what want to do is kind of like I say, light touch it. So we're not going to have huge viewing galleries or anything like that. And I'm also tempted to change the altitude up here. I quite like this side being taller than this side, but I think I want the road to be above the level of the rest of the enclosure, so we're going to change that. Sorry if you can hear the fan in the background, by the way, but like I say, it's a few degrees between what the British call hot as hell, so...
I'm dying!
And Dane is dying, so... Do you think that we can make our own customized fences in Jurassic World Evolution 3? Well, I would assume, given that we are going to have, modular decorative pieces, that we will be able to have, like, construct our own fencing. My question would be, why do you want to do that? Because that's a waste of parts. Like I said last stream, this is something that everyone who has played Jurassic World Evolution 1 and 2 is going to have to learn about Jurassic World Evolution 3, is that we need to start building like we're building in Planet Zoo, Planet Coaster, Prehistoric Kingdom, where it is like you spend parts where you think you can spend parts, and you don't spend parts where you don't necessarily have to. Piece count is going to be so much more important. I mean, it was already important in Jurassic World Evolution 2. It's going to be much more important in Jurassic World Evolution 3. Instead of placing, like, 5 rocks in order to achieve, this, it'll be, can I place 3 rocks? Or even 2 rocks? That's what really slows down the building. It's like, I need to do something on this building, or I want to do something with this decoration. How do I do it spending the least capital possible in terms of frame rate? And Dane is okay, yes, Evo, after our little hospital scare that we had. he's all fine and dandy now. It looks like the medication has been helping quite a bit. It's a flaw with modular building. It's not really a flaw with modular building. It's more of an inconvenient truth that any game is still reliant on hardware. And the more you build, the more you tax your hardware. And eventually, you will reach a point where you're not capable. The engine cannot be capable of running the thing you've made. The tricky point is determining, where that point is. Are we... Oh, I've put it the wrong way round again. I do that every time. Every bloody time. I should have learned my lesson by now, because there's a bloody arrow on it where the arrow refers to where the path is. I learned that last time, and I should have flipping remembered. Right, now if I have a look at this tour route, so you can see we can make sure that our jeeps will be able to drive up here, because that is the plan. Obviously, this jeep route that's in here at the moment was more of a proof of concept. So eventually, what will happen is that this jeep route will connect to the new town. We'll come all the way back around, go up this hill, connect to the old church that was bombed by the Luftwaffe. Come up here, we'll go around this roundabout, up here. Take a stop off at the little town with the Harvester restaurant and the Two Cypress Spa. Then it'll continue up this hill, stop here at this area, And then we'll go on to up here, which is where we'll have an actual proper like park area with a tour going around, etc. That is the grand plan for this. Now then. We are... Oh. Oh, I think we had a momentary internet blip there. Yes, I think we're working fine. This is why Planet Zoo gives you a warning when you have 80% complexity. Yes. I would hope that Frontier are going to be clever enough to include a system like that in Jurassic World Evolution 3, especially for the console players. I mean, it would be helpful to have it on PC, just so, you know, even PC players will be able to tell when their hardware is struggling. I think we need a similar style of... But what have I used down here to protect from the ocean? Oh, I've used that one. Okay, so we used this one on this side. I want people coming up here to still be able to see the views, you know. Everything is about the views. Hello, crazy creature. And yeah, it's been okie dokie, you know. Just very, very warm. Although this is nothing compared to the heat waves of 2021, so I am, you know, happy about that at least. Honestly, those folks who don't believe that climate change is real, like, did they not see, you know, temperatures of 40 degrees? That's just not ever happened. Okay. Now, again, in order to preserve this kind of area and keep it from being too impacted by the road, I'm going to create another fence line. Ah, you... Claims it's tall, but that doesn't look very tall to me. I think we need the big bushy one, actually. Oh, I suppose we could... Actually, hang on. Let's... Oh, no. No, don't like that. Okay, yeah. Big bushy. We'll go with the big bushy. There we go. Are you trying to do like a hedgerow? Yeah, so the aim, like I say, I don't want the dinosaurs up here to be too heavily disturbed by the jeeps and the road. So the point of this is to just provide a little bit of coverage. I might even go and plant trees all the way along this. Right, and then in here, I'm thinking maybe we could build something. Is this map on Nexus? No, Atifa. But if you are part of the Tricor Discord, I can make it available on there. You saved my life with the keyboard shift 2 trick for the fences. Yes, that is an important trick. Okay, I'm thinking that we're probably going to have to use these. That wasn't in the middle. The problem with that curve is that building a like a thing over that is going to be kind of a pain in the backside. Let's build the thing. Maybe it's going to be easier to build the thing. I need to make sure. What's the snap angle again? That is the snap angle. Okay. Okay, so I want there to be like windows at the front. Maybe 2. And then I'm thinking, use those as roofing pieces or use these as roofing pieces? I think we'll use those as roofing pieces because they can... We've got 1, 2... I reckon 3 will do it. Oops, wrong direction. Okay, so there is our... There's 1. Do the one this side. Honestly, I am looking forward to having the modular building tools because it will make doing stuff like this so much easier. Of course, you then have to have the architectural mindset to do this sort of stuff. And my architectural mindset is like very bare bones. Okay. Where are we looking? Something like that. Okay. Let's move this into place first. We can decide on what we're going to do with the path. We can cover path up, etc. We can always put down some planters or whatever. I think there. Okay. Modular building requires a lot of patience. And a lot of other... I would argue it requires a lot of other... like, elements as well. Patience is, like, one small aspect of it. How did I place that? Okay, that's good. It's looking fine. Going to do my usual thing with the invisible fence. The, not Kai's invisible fence, the game's invisible fence, because I feel like it just creates a, you know, a decent sort of, like a little base. It makes the glass look like it's not just placed on nothing. It makes it look like the glass has been placed on something and is being held in place properly. You know, just adds a little bit of realism, and it's relatively easy to do. The Discord link in the description appears to have expired. I'm not currently on Discord. I'm sure Dane can sort it out for me in a sec when he's not busy. Okay. I've just noticed that this one is not quite lined up. That's better. Okay. Now, from here, what do we do? Because obviously we need to give it a little bit more support than that. Okay, what if we can make that part of that, and then we need to put something underneath it to complete the illusion. So let's with this one. Oh yeah, let's just have two in the middle as well. I know that there are people on Reddit and even in Jurassic World Evolution 2 community in Evo's channel that can build absolutely incredible stuff. And even doing something like this taxes my brain after a while. So, I don't want to use those again. These don't really work for what I want to do with them. That isn't really tall enough. Planters, I think we're going to need a planter. These planters. Now, something I'm not sure people realize is these planters actually have wall pieces underneath them. So you can actually use them to create a nice bit of a wall. So now I'm thinking maybe we do something like this. I don't dislike it. I dislike the fact that it's not the right level, but I don't mind that. I think that looks kind of nice. Okay. Let's make it easier on ourselves. Let's figure out the right height. Ooh, wrong button. It taxes your brain because you don't have the right materials and tools to do what you really want. That's true. Like, that is probably the bit about building in Jurassic World Evolution that is the taxing bit. It's the it's trying to figure out how to do what you want to do with the bits that you can make use of. Right. Let's use that one as a guide for the height. Then we want to make sure that this is on snap angle. That is a snap angle. Then we are going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We are going to drag this up to the right height. Lovely. Drag up to the right height. Spiffing. Something's on low health. Oh, let's play Evo's favorite game of pterosaur, amphibian, or Sinosauropteryx. What do people think isn't eating this time? I'm going to assume it's probably the Sinosauropteryx again, because they always starve themselves. No, it is a Corythoraptor that has somehow managed to escape. Excuse me, sir. Get back in your enclosure. How did you manage that? I think that's the first time that I've seen one of those escape. Right. Now we should be able to grab that and move. And twist. And okay, so the base of this should be kind of just about there. needs to be in relatively the middle. I'm happy with that. Let's do this again. Advanced smooth, grab, freeform. Do the same thing here. It needs to be roughly there and roughly in the middle. Good. Same thing again. Hello, Guillermo. Yeah, the little species. Honestly, I've been chased off Reddit essentially for the opinion I have that just because a species is canon doesn't mean that it should be in the game. Because the way that people are rabidly defending Microceratus and Compy and Moros Intrepidus when they don't work. I swear these people would defend rabbit hives of hornets if they were canon. They just don't work. Okay. I am liking this. The only thing I think it needs is, like, I feel like it needs a piece of glass at either end. I don't think we've got one that really... Maybe a piece of grill, just to get... Okay, this is me being easy about it, but we're going to claim that the law reason for this is, well, this is a big glass structure, and we don't want it to overheat. So the grills at either end allow a bit of ventilation through this glass structure. That's what we're going with. This grill is, you know, it's part of keeping the place nice and ventilated. I'm actually really pleased with how that looks. Like, I would save that as a blueprint if I could, because I think that looks really good. Actually, I think it needs something. It needs a little bit of extra. It's a little bit plain at the moment. Hang on. This could be something. Thinking, what if we place these? Let's have one there. Yeah, I like that. love the fact the game keeps complaining at me about income, and I'm like, I don't have any guests on this island yet. Bugger off. You know, Jurassic World Evolution 2, maybe I would run my parks with the parks actually open if your guests didn't tank performance. There we go. I like that. Lord, I'm just imagining all the awful stuff people are going to save on the workshop. Yeah, this is the thing with this whole idea of the workshop. Like, the workshop is a brilliant idea in theory, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be perfect. This is the modding community and the blueprint making community. Why can I see some really horrible things showing up on there? It only takes some millennial to build a flipping, was it skibbity toilet or whatever that is, for that to show up on there. It's just gonna, there's just... Frontier thinks that the workshop is going to save the modular building aspect of the game, and it probably will. But I also hope that they actually have an element of curation so that we can get rid of stuff that really shouldn't be there. Okay, now I think we need to hide the path a bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be efficient. And I think the best rock for doing this with will be this one. Because it is big, wide, and flat. So we should be able, I think, to cover up most of the path with these guys. And then any remaining little grey bits we can get rid of with you know, flowers, etc. So there's one. Maybe these ones are not going to work as well as I hope they would. 2. Kentrosaurs are fighting again. 3. You know what? I still think you've got reasonable vision there. Like, you've got a little bit of a rock in front of you here, but I think you've got reasonable vision around the side, so I think that's fine. There we go. Excellent. And then all of this area will be dinosaur habitat. This bit will be, you know, I'll do some homework and do decoration and stuff down here. Put in benches, put in that sort of thing. Maybe thinking about it, I think we need to have like one small amenity up here just for, you know, people to make use of. Provide food, that sort of thing. Go. No, there is no skibbity park. I cannot stand modern millennial culture. Well, I say millennial culture, whatever it is. It's Gen Z, I suppose, now, isn't it? Whatever they call it. It's horrid stuff. Just brain rot. I despair for the youth. I really do. Okay. So I suppose what I need to do now is put the perimeter fence in. I think this river is a little thin. I'm concerned that it's not technically wide enough for stuff to be able to drink. So I'm just going to make it a little wider. At least... that's fine. That's fine there. I'm thinking we need a tributary off this. So I'm thinking... something like that. I want it to be a little thinner though, you know? Shall we have a classic where would it be? Somewhere like here. Have a little Oxbow Lake as well. Actually, what I'll do, let's not have it cutting off there. Let's say the tributary is going to come here. That. Then about here. Bit wider. Have the old classic Oxbow Lake. Probably done this the wrong way round. You should put the water down first, then build the terrain. But oh. Let's try that again. Whoops. Water. 1. 2. Grab and shrink and grab. backside. How? How is that not? That'll do. Got there in the end. All this for a bloody Oxbow Lake. We got there. Attention to detail is important. There we go. Right. We need to put the perimeter fence in for this enclosure. And I'm going to make it big so that we can actually see what the bloody heck we're doing. It doesn't have to be neat because this will be deleted. Well, I won't. Well, not deleted. It will be replaced with the invisible fencing after I've put all the decoration and stuff down. Again, we're not going to have it go right up to the edge of the road, because that's where we're going to have tree line. Okay. So that's our enclosure's perimeter, shall we say. But obviously, like I say, that'll all be invisible. Camarasaurus is one species that is definitely going in here, but the rest, I haven't quite figured out yet. One thing I do want to do is I want this bit down here to be a bit beachy. It might not be realistic, but I don't care. Definitely want to get rid of all this random sound. Okay. And then obviously we've got a slightly higher bit of this enclosure, slightly lower bit. I do want to just give this bit some terrain interest, so I'm going to use the roughen. Kyodenic's lovely roughing tool. Let's make some rough terrain here. And I do want to have something over here. Not huge, just some, like a little bit of a mound, as it were. I do want something to place in here that's going to make the enclosure stand out. Stonehenge. I love that. And we've got that little... Okay, we'll do a Stonehenge. Great idea, Rob. Okay. Okay, we'll put it on top of this mound. And what we want is... we need a sort of circle of stones. This one is fine. We can make this one a little shorter. Let's say these two are still in the correct place, so they can have a stone over the top. This may take a while. Okay, there's one. Damn, rocks. 1, 2. Hey, okay. This one will say its big rock on top is missing. Just thinking about how big this should be. Let's just draw a rough sort of guide. So it would be like that, and then we would need some in the middle. Okay, let's move these back slightly. So let's have one there, there, and there. Okay. Let's have you are going to be standing alone, and then we're going to have one. This one is going to be on top. Okay. That one is standing alone. We'll assume another rock has been destroyed or something. These two standing there. We're going to have one up right there. This one, its partner, is going to have fallen over. We're going to have one there. Need a few more rocks. Going to say this one. In the right places. But the top bar is going to be missing. No, let's have the top bar has like slipped off. And it's laying kind of higgledy-piggledy here. Like that. And then these two are completely fucked. Like they've fallen over. Completely. Okay, and then we need kind of like a ring of rocks in the middle as well. Thing is, we don't have any like ones. Five. Let's say they need to be sort of that way up so that they're kind of tall-ish. You can stay down. You can be in the right place. You can be in the right place. And then we need some little rocks around. So this one. A few scattered rocks here, where there was one there. Let's place a few there. It's not perfect, but I think this looks pretty decent. It gets the gist across. And obviously we'll, put plenty of flowers and trees around it to sort of bed it in. Modern architecture, it'll never last. Yes, Manny from Ice Age. Actually, I think that's a really good position, because, like, then it's in kind of in line with that mountain over there. And it's kind of in line with that island over there. So it's almost like this and the mountain are kind of, like, symbolically combined. They're linked. Because, like, if you were walking out through this arch, you'd be almost in front of that mountain. So, I like that symbology. Okay, so yeah, a nice little Stonehenge, you know. I think that gives us a nice focal point for this particular enclosure. What time is it? 1:15. Right, let's go get some dinosaurs. So what I want is, I want a hadrosaurid or something hadrosaurid adjacent for down here. Then we need to grab a couple of Camarasaurus for up here. And I'm thinking, what should we have alongside the Camarasaurus? Oh, I've just had an idea of what I want to do with the Stonehenge. But I'm not going to tell you yet. I will, yeah. I shall do that plan off stream. That'll be a surprise. I've just had an idea of what I want to do with Stonehenge. Yeah, something to live alongside the Camarasaurus up here. Maybe it's a dinosaur grouping we haven't got in the park yet. Or maybe another ceratopsian. I don't know. Well, we'll go and have a look. Let's go have a look. The Hypsobeamer is a good suggestion, Kairu. The thing is, it's a little large. Like, it's really, really big. It's basically the same size as a Shant, so, I kind of want the Camarasaurus to be the bigger ones in it. So, Camara, male and female. And we want something that's like Hadrosaur adjacent. Let's do the Camarasaurus first, and we're not going to use this god-awful design. We're going to use a modded design, which is just slightly less ugly. Right, let's have a look and find a decent kind of coloration here. Doesn't have to be... because I wish the patterns worked, but they don't. So we won't bother with those. We'll just go based off the skin variant. Kind of like that one. Reminds me a bit of J-Pog's Camara. I don't have the Tethy Shadros, no code. Hello, Smaug. Dominion Iguanodon. Kairu, get out. I absolutely hate that Iguanodon. Honestly, I really do. Right, so the males are going to be extra variant 14. And our females need to be something that kind of goes along with that. So... I actually think extra variant 5 will do for our females. Okay. Something hadrosaur or hadrosaur adjacent to live down with the Alamosaurus. Edmontos, just a bit boring. The Hippacros I've already used. Hypsibema I just think it's too big. I mean, Iguanodon would make sense because, you know, it's a British park. The Uranos are just so goddamn ugly. Sintao. Go ahead, Luna. I've told you before. You can ask whatever questions you like in chat. You don't have to ask my permission first. Allura Titan is good. Let's do Allura Titan. Male, female. So male, let's go with... I actually quite like the dark blue. I actually quite like the Calcarana on that. I think that makes for a really pleasing combination. So Gambia River Basin, and Calcarana. That's our males. How do we make that look like a female? So we'll make the skin a lot less vibrant. I don't really want to get rid of the pattern altogether. What we'll do is we'll say that Allura Titans have mutual sexual selection characteristics. So females will also possess a pattern. Just pick a pattern which is maybe a little more simple. So the females have black stripes with a vibrant purple on the crest, and the males have both crest and stripes and a better body. Mutual sexual selection. Works quite well for species you don't want to look bland. Okay, something to live alongside the Camaras. This, I'm open to suggestions. Something to live alongside Camarasaurus. What do you folks suggest? Dryos. We can have some Dryos living alongside, for sure. Let's have some Dryosaurus. Casmo. Herrera. Oh, that's an interesting idea. Let's have a carnivore up there somewhere. Stego. I suppose Stego is like the de facto animal, isn't it? Well, not that I would let them attack them anyway, Alex. I would just put in invisible fencing up there. What would you think about losing the Frontier Iguanodon variant? I think that would be a mistake, because I think the Frontier Iguanodon is so much better than the movie one. I think what we'll do We'll have that for our male. And our females need to be... The females will be a lot lighter with just black stripes. Well, Smaug, I'm using Kyodenic's invisible fencing, remember, which is indeed both invisible and useful. Yeah, Luna, you've asked me that question before. I have never heard of that particular animal. Dravidosaurus is not in the park. I'm not a big fan of the Dravidosaurus mod, if I'm really honest with you. I'm not really a massive fan of the Decentraurus mod either. Oh, Stego. Stego was the other one. I have to say, I don't like either of the Stegosaurus models. But if I had to pick between the two, honestly, I think I prefer Frontier's version. Okay. Let's go with... Actually, I kind of want to see if we can find a color that's like walking with dinosaur Stego. It's not far off. There we go. There's our male. I mean, I suppose the Lost World one does have the beak. It has the better face. But both still have the problem that the animal is... the posture is wrong. Like, the tail should be up here. The head should be down here. The front legs should be slightly shorter. And I think both... they don't really take advantage of the plates for... you know, coloration that well. Sometimes the scientific names chosen for animals and plants can be really nuts. Yes, paleontologists especially are well known for doing quite a lot of that. Okay, and females, again, I feel like the pattern should be the same. So females will just... maybe just alter... give females the blander plates and stuff. And so males will look like that, females will look like that. I think that makes sense. Okay, let's go get these guys in the park. And I thought that Opisthecoliacordia was hard to pronounce. I haven't seen that particular name in a very long time, Kairu. The only place I've ever seen that animal mentioned was a dinosaur magazine series I collected as a very young kid, before I was even in double figures in age. And that was where I first saw Opisthecoliacordia. It was in Dinosaur King 2. Something I want to do, and I need to find like a decent scanner or something, is I want to scan all of the artwork from those magazines so I can have them on the computer, because the company has gone bust. And some of the art you can find, but it's locked behind Getty Images. But most of it isn't available anymore. So what I want to do is actually make use of that artwork that I have in those magazines and actually, you know, have them available for people to see. Because some of the centerfold pictures were absolutely incredible. Okay, Luna, my mistake. I just saw a lot of letters and thought it was the same one. Australopithecus, Concavenator, Dimetrodon, Herrera, Monolopho, Uta cannot attack medium or large herbivores. Makes sense for some of them, not all of them. Okay. Just so that we can make sure stuff has stuff to eat, I'm just going to put down base foliage. There we go. Like, we could have carnivores up here somewhere. Like, maybe, like, give them an area up here somewhere. Or give them an area over here somewhere. Something I do want to do, and I think I'm going to have it maybe opposite the castle. I say castle, the old church. Is have a hot air balloon tour ride that goes around this area up here. The only reason I don't use it more often is because it kind of creates so many balloons. It looks kind of ugly. Right, let's get our creation. Right, let's start with our Kamaras. This needs to be extra variant 14. And extra variant 5. And we'll have 2 male and 2 female. Something I might do is slightly recontour this pathway down this mountain, just to make it look like dinosaurs could legitimately walk up and down here. Maybe do the same over here. Like, it does look like they're connected here, but I might recontour this just to be a little more obvious that these two lower, the lower and upper areas are connected. What is going on down here? I think I might have to manually move some of these dinosaurs around. Why don't you favorite skins instead of remembering them? Well, one, you can only favorite a certain number of skins. And two, I prefer to pick skins as and when. I feel one of the many problems I think people suffer with this game, but one of the most common things I think I see people do is they pick the exact same colors and patterns for the dinosaurs every single time they make them. Which I think causes, you know, boredom. I think if you have to pick your skins when you actually want to use the dinosaur and don't use the favoriting system, then you kind of have to go and have a look. And then when you go and have a look, you can sometimes come across skins that you might not have seen before that actually you really like. Not to mention, you might feel like a particular skin works for your particular build, depending on whatever it is that you're, doing with that. That's a little overly rough. I see the problem. Aww. Nice texture. They just have such a better looking head, though. That's my main problem with the Frontier Camara. It's the head. The head is just totally misshapen. Right. Next up is our Laura Titan. I feel like this stream has been very relaxed. I just write down what skins I want to use. Well, yeah, Kairu, I have an enormous spreadsheet full of skin combinations that I think are particularly good. Gonna have to end up going back and redoing that for the next game when it comes out. I really hope islands in lakes and rivers will be easier to make as they add naturally. I think, and this is partly why I haven't done a video on Jurassic World Evolution 3 this week. I think we need to see them actually playing the game. We need an actual, we need to see the game actually working. And so far, I feel like we haven't got that. And I was a bit disappointed with the complete lack of information in the live stream. There was just nothing in it. Nothing new. And nothing shown off. And until we actually see the game in motion, so to speak, actually working, I think it's going to be almost impossible to judge how the game is going to be or work. Now, what I've decided to do is I'm going to make this Stonehenge. We are going to make it like a Yehalopterus henge. So we'll just have a load of little Yehalopterus living here. I love the Yehalopterus. I think people don't use it enough. Why do you think there has been a hindrance of information? I think there's a few different reasons. I think number one is that I suspect Universal might be telling them that they're not allowed to show us too much until July 2nd happens. If, I stress if, there's rebirth content in the base game as standard, that would be that situation. If that isn't the case, I suspect that maybe right now there's a lot of focus on the Planet Coaster and Planet Zoo stuff, and because Planet Zoo has just had a new DLC, hasn't it? And Planet Coasters have, I think Planet Coaster 2 has something coming. I suspect what they don't want to do is show off the game at those particular players in that particular stream when they've just released the DLC. Because they want people to still be thinking about Planet Zoo and Planet Coaster 2 and buying the DLCs for them. So I suspect that perhaps it's just about, like, making sure that people who could be spending money on those DLCs are spending money on those DLCs instead of saying, oh, I'm going to, like, save my money and wait for Jurassic World Evolution 3. Maybe. It could also just be because the Frontier is shit at marketing, which is probably the most realistic of the options. They're just absolutely crap at marketing stuff. Aww, pretty boys and girls. Should be walking on all fours, though. I live in hope that gets sorted out, but probably won't. Wasn't there a British dino documentary with some little raptor Troodon thing at Stonehenge trying to catch the people doing the documentary? I think that was Primeval, perhaps, Colt? Maybe? Right, Dryosaurus. Fletcher, Yeholopterus is my new favourite pterosaur. I call it butterfly bat. Yes, I think everyone calls it the butterfly, to be honest. I don't think it can be attributed to just one person. Stonehenge in the Mesozoic. Well, no, Primeval was not based in the Mesozoic. Great Sandy Desert and Pelophylax. How many males? Let's do 3. They're probably... Yeah, no. I suspect they probably won't, because it's easier for them to just keep the rigging as exactly the same. Which is a shame, because it's wrong. It's like the person I almost had an argument with in Evo's stream today, who was calling his opinion an opinion when it was not an opinion, it's just an incorrect fact. Yeholopterus is massively overrated. I don't think it's overrated. I think the bigger problem is Yeholopterus isn't very well used by the game because the game doesn't use any of its little species very well. I wanted to say the same thing. Oh, well, yeah. I decided not to engage anymore with that particular person because he clearly didn't understand what an opinion is. Oh, bugger, I forgot I need to end the stream in 8 minutes' time because it's D&D night tonight. But yeah, so what I will do off stream for homework is put in the Yeholopterus down here. Consider putting in a carnivore up here, but I'm not really 100% sure which species to use. Maybe Megalo, although I'm thinking of having some of like Megalo and Iguanodons in here. Still not 100% sure whether I want to do like a water tour on this river or not. What I'm actually thinking of doing is Maybe make it a walk-around enclosure, have bridges crossing these water sources, and just have path going around the whole thing. Try and make it out like it's a sort of open safari area. Maybe. Same thing with the girl whining I didn't like her because I told her to stop spamming. Yes, I saw that one. Yeah, something like a nature trail, Cole. Yeah, that's the sort of thinking I was having for up here. Oh, true. I know the water and the rivers are suggestions, but as I stand by and have always said, if a map has natural features, I prefer to use the natural features rather than get rid of them. It's another reason why I think everybody suffers on the square maps, because there are no natural features. We all like natural features. Like, the reason why the Nublar 93 map is so popular is because it has the natural features of the waterfall and stuff there. Because everyone treats that as the entrance. I would indeed like another cold drink. You can just pour that one. Could you get me some of my cream soda, please? Yes, thank you. Do you think we'll get a JPOG style map generator in E3? No. No. Look, the fact is, the JPOG map generator is an incredibly simple thing. And a bit like the Site B mode, I feel that people kind of over-egg how good having a map generator was. I'll be honest, I have not ever played a game with a map generator where I have felt that the generated map is better than something somebody has made themselves. Because it's like, this is, and this might tick a few people off, but it's like comparing AI generated images to something somebody has drawn. A map generator creates a map based off an algorithm from predefined variables, whereas a map that someone has made can take any sort of form and any sort of shape. And I would much rather we have well-made, constructed maps that someone has put thought and time into than a map generator which creates a random circle or square map with a bunch of randomly placed rivers and mountains and trees in it that doesn't really provide any sort of interest, or you know what I mean. But for most players, they wouldn't have access to Nexus or anything to get those maps, so the current maps might become boring. Well, this is where my response would be, and that's why we need to make sure we have plenty of maps. Like, if you think just about how many maps we had in Jurassic World Evolution 1 and 2, as well as then any new maps, that's close to, I think, probably close to 40 maps. Like, if you combine the 9 we've seen, like, the 10 that we know exist, we've only seen 9, plus one other, the 10 that we've seen exist in E3, plus all the ones from this game, which I think is something like 20, plus Jurassic World Evolution 1s, that would be 40 maps. That would last for a while, and that then doesn't even consider adding further maps in DLC. So, honestly, I think pre-created maps is fine. And like I say, the problem with a map generator is it uses an algorithm. So eventually, you only need to click a couple of times, and the maps will be just the same. Like, sooner or later, the algorithm just spits out an average map based off the criteria you give it, and they all start looking the same. So I don't think a generator is really the best way of solving that problem. Making sure the Jurassic World Evolution 1 and 2 maps are back in the game, either on base or dripped in with updates, and then maybe introducing DLCs that add maps, or map adding DLC in itself. Because I feel like Frontier, when it comes to their DLC variety, they're bloody boring, and they need to start learning to sell us more variable types of DLC. That solves the map problem very easily. Hello, Marconian. You came in just at the end of this stream because I am about to end. But we've got our chosen species up here, apart from the Yeholopterus and the carnivore that is yet decided up here. And we haven't really done very much else apart from that, have we? Because I was focused quite heavily on constructing our little gallery up here. It's another reason why modular building I think is going to be a bad thing, because streams are going to be... We've spent 2 hours making one hotel. Anyway, I want to thank everyone for tuning in tonight. I'm going to pop off because, like I say, it is D&D night tonight. Next week's video is all ready and prepared to go. I can't remember what it is for next week's video. I think it might be Jurassic World Evolution 3 related. I cannot remember. Anyway, that video is ready to go and be out on Wednesday, and we'll be back on Wednesday, obviously, with Metal Gear Solid 5 again. Yeah, but thank you for tuning in today. Don't forget to like the stream if you haven't. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Join the Discord if you're wanting to. And don't forget to find us on Blue Sky as well. Just pointing it out that we are on Blue Sky. And I do want to start using that more often. So if you're on Blue Sky, look us up. Because I usually post nice screenshots and things there. But until next week, I hope the rest of you enjoy the rest of your Sunday evenings. Stay safe, and good night.